Hi guys, welcome to another Python video tutorial, and in this video tutorial we'll be talking about Python modules. Now, what are Python modules? Now, Python modules can be considered as a library of code, so as you just consider it as a code library. Okay, so they are mostly used interchangeably, so you hear some people saying, oh, modules, and you hear libraries. So these two terms in Python are actually related, and I'll show you how both terms are related. So let me just go over what a module is and why you need Python modules. So let's say you're writing code, right, and you have written code and you have like so many lines of code, let's say million lines of code, and then you want a way whereby you can easily break the code and have them in different files. So breaking that code into different files is what you refer to as modules. Okay, now you can have you can actually create a module in Python, right? So we'll go over how you can create a module in Python and how you can use that module. Okay, so you create a module, then how you can use that module in Python. Then we'll also go over the built-in modules. Okay, so there are built-in modules in Python as well, how you can call those built-in modules and use them in your code. So modules are a way of abstracting code. What do I mean by abstracting code? The concept is called abstraction, and I'm sure we've explained this in maybe some of our previous videos. Now, the concept is abstraction. Let me just explain abstraction to you quickly. For example, you have a car. Okay, so this is a car. Don't mind my drawing, guys. This is a car, and then you have a brake right here. Okay, and then you have a driver right here. So don't mind my drawing once again, guys. You have a driver in the driver's seat. Now, if the driver is driving this car, all he needs to do to stop this car is to just step on the brake. Okay, once he steps on the brake, the car is going to come to a halt, so the car is going to stop once he steps on the brake. Now, the driver does not need to know exactly what is going on in the engine of the car. All he needs to know is just step on the brake and this car is going to stop. That is called abstraction. Now, a lot of things have been abstracted, okay, or hidden away from the driver, and really he doesn't need to care about what happens in the engine as long as he steps on the brake and his car comes to a halt. So that is the concept of abstraction. It's just hiding the not so useful part in terms of the user. Okay, so the user does not really need to know all that part. Same way your modules work. So you can import or use a module and use the functions or the methods that are present in a module without really knowing, or without having to know like the in and outs of the code, you know, and stuff like that. You just import a module and you are able to use it. So as a programmer, when you're coding and you're coding for you are considering modularity and abstraction and reusability, you want to make sure that your abstraction is on point, whereby it's easy for a user to just call your functions and then use that particular module with ease. So I'm just going to rub this off and let's get right into it. So let's say I create a file on my computer. Okay, I'm just simply going to call this file add, right? And add is going to add.py, not just add. Your modules have to end with this .py extension, remember. So add is going to have a function definition, right? Add is going to have a function definition, and that function definition will function, oh, sorry guys, add is going to have a func, okay, and this function will take x and y, right? And then what will happen, it will just return, x plus y. So this is all you have in this add file, okay, add.py file. Now I can also create another file, right? and this new file is going to be called code.py, for instance. And what we want to do in code.py is use this particular function right here. So we're just going to call this function in code.py, right? And then say 3, 5. And then in code.py we want to print the output of this function, and that's 5 plus 3 is going to be what? 8. Okay, so the output of this function is going to give us 8 in this new file when we run it. So let's not waste too much of our time. I'll just show you exactly what I'm talking about in my IDE. Okay, so I'm just going to fire up the command prompt cmd for cmd, and I'm going to go into my desktop, and I've gone ahead to create a folder, right, called module, and I'm in module right now. CLS to clear that. I'm just going to show you the files I have in module, add and code.py. You can see them right here. Now I will open this folder itself in my Visual Studio Code using this command. So code and dot and then a single /, and once I do that, I'll hit enter, and that module folder is going to open up right here. So I'm just going to close this welcome screen, go to my add. Like I said, in add I'm just going to define a function, okay, and the name of this function will be func, and then I'll hit enter, and I want to return the argument that I'll pass here. So the argument is going to be x and y, and then I want to just return x plus y, okay, and I'll save this. Okay, so I have a function here. The function is simple, it adds 2 numbers, okay, so this function is going to add 2 numbers and return the result. Now under code.py, the first thing you want to know is this import keyword, okay. So once you use this import keyword, then you have to tell Python what module do you want to import really, and the module I want to import is this add module, okay. So how do I know I want to import the add module? The name of the file, right, the name of this Python file is what you use in importing the module. So you can see here the name is add.py, and I'm importing add right here, okay. So when I import add right now, I have access to the functions in my add.py, which is just, the name is just func, right. So when I go back here now, how do I use func in my code.py? All I have to do is simply call my add, so reference my add and dot, and you see I have access to that method, okay. Now when I put something like 5 and 6, for instance, I can save this, okay. So I can save that in a variable, for example, I can save that in a variable called var, right, and then I can print the value right here. So print var and save this. Now if I call up my terminal, new terminal, push this up a little and just clear this. Okay, so if I call my terminal now and I just say Python and I'm running code.py, remember guys, I don't have any function here in code.py, but I have a function in add.py. If I call this up now and I hit enter, you see that it works, guys. So I have I've been able to successfully create 2 files. One is add.py, which is a module, and I've defined a function, and I'm returning the addition of the argument I passed into this function. And then in code.py, I'm importing my add, calling a variable using the add.func. So I'm accessing the method by referencing this add module, right? And in this third line, I'm just simply printing out the answer to console, and you see that it works. Let us do one more example so I can show you some other way you can access module. So I'm just going to write another function, okay. So func2, right? So func2 is going to accept x and y once again. And remember your scope. so you know that it's not affected by anything of sort. So, and it's just going to return, right, going to return x, or it's going to print. Let me just use, okay, let me use return. So so we have the value right there. So it's just going to return x minus y, x. Now one more thing I would do is I'm just going to copy this code, Ctrl C, and okay, I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to put one more function, and I'll call this func3, and let's do, we have addition, we have subtraction. We should just do like a multiplication right there, and then save this. Now we've saved this, we get back to our code.py. Now let's say I have three functions now in add.py. In code.py, let's say I just want to perform the subtraction. I want to use the subtraction function, which is func2, and I'm not going to do any other operation. I know this for sure. Instead of calling all the values, instead of just doing import add, now here's what I can do. I can do from add, right, from the complete module, just import func2. So just import func2, and I'll save this. Now that means I have access to just the func2, right? So I'm importing func2. All I have to simply do is just modify this line 2, Ctrl Z. So I'm going to modify line 2 right here to simply just say var equals to func2. Okay, am I doing that correctly? Save that. Okay, I need to say import func2 right here. Okay, func2, and save this. Okay, so having said that, that means I have imported func2, and I'm creating a variable right here, and then setting the value to calling this function. So the result, the return value from this function is going to be saved in this variable, and then I'm printing the variable. So I've saved that, guys, and let me just run this code once again. So python code.py, first I'll clear, and so we can know we have a blank screen, and then enter, and you see we have -1, because 5 minus 6 is going to be -1. Now, so you can see how I've been able to like from add import func. So I'm importing just a specific function, func2, which I need from this add.py. Okay, so those are the the two common methods, or the two common ways you can call in your modules. Okay, so also we have built-in modules in Python. Okay, so I created my add module, and I'm using it, and I can distribute it to any other programmer for the programmer to use. So that is the beauty of modules, is that they are reusable, they are, or as the name implies, they are modular. Okay, now what are built-in modules? Built-in modules are modules you did not create. They come built-in with Python. Okay, they come built-in with Python. For example, we can have like the math module. For example, this module is built in the math module in Python, right? I'm going to save this. So this is a module that is built in, and what can you do with this module? There are a few things you can do, but for example, I'm just going to do one right now. So I can do x equals to math.py, for instance. Okay, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to clear this. Okay, and let's just print it out. So let's print x. Save this, Ctrl S. Okay, so let's see the value, and we see the value of math.py. Okay, so 3.14 whatever, and we see this value right now. What else can we do? We can actually do something like this and say y, right, equals we can say y equals there are some functions we can use, for example, like this ceil function. So math.ceil, right? And math.ceil is going to take up a float. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to say 1.7 and I'll save this. Okay, now let's print y down here, so we can print a y and just save this. Now let's come here and run our code. So cls, and then we run this code, and you can see that it rounds it up to 2. Okay, so that's the math.ceil function. What else can we do? Let's do one more. So instead of math.ceil, I'm just going to change this ceil to floor. Okay, so I'm going to change this ceil to floor, to floor, double O, not triple O, guys. Math.floor, save that, and let's see what's gonna happen. Clear this, do this, and run it, and you see that it rounds it down to 1. So this is just the importing the math module. There's also the datetime module in Python, or in Python modules. So if I just goes and say import datetime, for instance, import datetime, and what do you want to do with this? So I can do x equals to datetime, right, dot, and then I can do datetime dot now, for instance. Okay, so you see I have a whole lot of options to play with right here. So let's just do datetime dot now, open this, save it, and then let's print x. Okay, so I'm just going to print x and save this and come back here, declare this, and voila, I have like today's date and the actual time being printed out. Okay, so it's of course 2021, the year, right, and then the month, and then the day. Okay, so this is the order in which you get this date time printed out. So you can play with this. You know, we've covered, you know, creating your own module. We've also covered using your own module. We've covered how you can use the import statement, and how you can really just play with module and all. Now lastly, before we call it a day, I'm just going to show you one thing which I almost forgot. When you are using a module, you can actually change the name of the module. So I can say import add, and if I do as a and I save this, now instead of my add reference which I was using before, if I just simply say a, right, dot, I get access to the modules using this a. So a is going to replace add. So what I'm doing here is I'm simply just renaming add to become a. Okay, so this is module renaming for you. So in this video, a quick recap. We covered modules, what modules are. We covered creating your modules. We covered how you can import modules using 3 different styles. We covered built-in modules, or libraries as you want to call it. We covered the datetime, the math module, and we're calling it a day right now. And in the next video, we're going to still talk about more Python concept. And stay tuned, guys, because we are going to be having a big project coming up where we design and build a website using Python, and I'm so excited about this project, and I hope you are too. So please, what you can do for us to support this channel is share this video, like, drop a comment, and make sure you watch out for our next video by clicking the notification icon so you don't miss a thing. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.